This is the M1917 Enfield, otherwise known as the American Enfield or P14 Enfield. Its predecessor, the Pattern 14 or P14 Enfield, was chambered in .303 British. This is chambered in .30-06. We originally made the P14 for the Redcoats to fight the Jerries, and in World War I we both needed rifles, and rather than have the Remington, Eddystone, and Winchester factories retooled to make the 1903 Springfield, we decided to make the P14 in .30-06, which is now known as the M1917 Enfield. It has the cock-on closing action. It is a pure battle rifle with no cutoff switch, mainly use stripper clips, although because it's a rimless cartridge instead of the .303 rimmed, you can actually fit 6 instead of 5. But logistically, you still are going to just load with the stripper clip. These are all nickel steel receivers and nickel steel bolts. On the underside of the bolt, it will say NS for nickel steel. These are cock-on closing because the cock-on opening tends to stick when you rapid fire the rifle, and when it heats up, it makes it harder to extract the case. So the cock-on opening or cock-on closing action was maintained. So it's under tension now. So you see, after it heats up, it's easy to extract rounds, and the more difficulty is in closing the rifle to put a new round in, rather than extracting the spent round. What to look for is matching receiver, bolt, stock, barrel, and front nose piece. A lot of these are going to be mixed parts. This one is mixed parts. This has a lot of Eddystone parts in it, although it does have the matching receiver, matching barrel, matching stock, matching bolt. There is a lot of obvious Eddystone parts. This is an easy rifle to collect because everything is clearly marked. So the receiver clearly says Winchester. Some of them on the early ones will just say W, so if you have one that just says W, you have one of the earliest ones. It has the flaming bomb, it has proof marks. The bolt is marked NS for nickel steel. It also has the manufacturer, Winchester, on there, but you see there's an Eddystone part right there. The barrel is a matching Winchester barrel, so it should have the similar to the 1903 Springfield, where it has the month and the year. This says Winchester 12/18. I know you can't really see the 12, but it's there, 12/18. The receiver is from May of 18 when I looked it up, so it's kind of weird that it's that big a gap. This may be the second barrel for this also. It's weird that it got another Winchester one, but it clearly has some arsenal marks on it. You look behind the stock here, the butt plate will be marked with a letter, or if it's blank, it's Winchester. So that's one of the things that's going to be really hard to find as a Winchester. Same with the bolt. The barrel is going to be impossible to find. All the stocks should be finger groove stocks. There is no modified stock. They all have this fatter belly design that will take 6 rounds of .30-06, even though it uses the standard 5-round stripper clips. They're all nickel steel receivers, all nickel steel bolts, whereas on the 1903 Springfield they didn't start using nickel steel until a certain point. These are all nickel steel. So these are high quality, they're big, they're heavy, they weigh 8.5 to 9 pounds unloaded, fully loaded with the sling and the bayonet, which is a sword bayonet, which is attaches on the front. It's very similar to the 1903 Springfield design here. Should weigh close to 10 pounds. And then you've got your bandoliers of the .30-06 ammo. So soldiers carried a pretty heavy rifle, but a very capable rifle. The Enfield style cock-on closing action has its pros and cons. You can't manually decock this like you can with the 1903 Springfield. You can depress the trigger and hold on to the firing pin and manually decock it and then manually cock it. You can't do that with this, but it's under tension right now, so it helps with the extraction, especially under hard use when the rifle heats up. So when you go to open the bolt, it's going to come flying back at you. Now there's no cutoff. It's meant to be used with stripper clips, so you can't load one at a time, even though that it does take 6 and the stripper clips only take 5. So that's just because the original design was the 303 British, which is a rimmed cartridge, so it creates a little bit more space, so you can actually get one more cartridge in this iteration. To take the bolt out, you gotta pull back here. This is really tight, and it's harder to get out than the 1903 Springfield with the cutoff switch, where you just put it in the middle and it slides right out. I really have to struggle to get this one out. This one's pretty tight. I probably could loosen the screw a little bit, but these bolts, all nickel steel. It'll be marked here on the handle, NS. This is a Winchester bolt. Goes back in, you gotta force it back in there, and you gotta push the follower down each time. And when you go to close it, you gotta put quite a bit of effort to get it in the cock position. And there is no middle position like on the flag safety, where that you can still move the bolt and the trigger won't work. Here, when you put the safety, the bolt is locked and the trigger is dead. And then forward, undo, then it's ready to go. So a little bit less options, but this is, like I said, a pure battle rifle, no cutoff switch, meant to use the stripper clips. It's highly effective, it's battle tested, and they made a couple of million of these in a short period of time. This is an Arsenal rebuilt 1903 Springfield on the bottom. I brought out as a size comparison. So you see they're very similar in appearance. This rifle should have a finger groove stock. This is an Arsenal rebuilt stock. But the barrel bands are very similar. The front nose piece is similar. The marks on the front of the barrel is similar. But the 1903 is shorter than the 1917 by a couple inches. And it's a little bit lighter. Both in 30-06, but the 1917 can actually fit 6 instead of 5. Cock on closing action on the top, cock on opening here on the bottom.